Mysteries of Michigan is brought to you by the Paranormal Research and Investigative Society of Michigan. Thanks, Prism. Mysteries of Michigan. Hey everybody, welcome to Mysteries of Michigan. My name is Tom. Again, I'm your host. First off, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, with it being, 3-4 days away from Christmas. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate, happy whatever. Quick little show coming today. I've wanted a little filler before we get into my next show. Talking about last show, we were talking about Isan and Fukushima, and just wanted a quick update. Isan. If you didn't listen to the last show, we were wondering what was going to happen. Is it going to set off earthquakes? Is it going to set off global pole shift? We didn't know. Well, come to find out, Comet Isan did not survive its trip around the sun. Now, a lot of people are saying, nope, we're done, no more Comet Isan, which is true. My theory, my thinking, now keep in mind I am not a scientist, nor I am an astronomer. I am a guy that talks to you via computer. But listen, this comet broke up into millions and millions of little pieces. Those millions and millions of little pieces have slowed down. There again, we mentioned it before in one of the prior shows, there are numerous sightings of fireballs, meteorites flying through the atmosphere all over the world. Now, with millions of pieces of the remnants of Comet Isan coming through, I am not a rocket scientist, but that makes me think, holy cow, there are millions of opportunities for this thing to come in contact with Earth. Does that mean it's going to? I don't know. I can't tell you. But the law of averages says if you have a million objects floating through space that have slowed down before Comet Isan was going to pass us as we went, and then the Earth would go through its debris field. Well, that's not going to happen now. Is there a chance that we could come in contact with these millions of pieces of the remnants of Comet Isan? Well, absolutely. Is there a chance that we could miss it altogether? Well, absolutely. All I'm telling you is look at the sky. See if you can see any of these fireballs, any of these meteorites, any of these meteors, I should say. See if you can see any in the sky. The numbers coming through are overwhelming. There are a ton of them, and it's not just in one part of the world, it's all over. Are these remnants from Isan? I don't know, but it's kind of weird that all of a sudden they started coming around. So keep an eye on the sky. You're not going to have the news media, the mass media tell you, oh, yep, we got a major asteroid coming. If they tell you, you know it's already too late. So keep looking to the sky. Look again at your obscure websites. The obscure websites are the ones you're going to get the truth from. WND, I don't know what other ones, Drudge Report, InfoWars. Those are the ones you're going to get your news from that is correct, because those are not paid for, bought and sold by the corporate media. So, just wanted to quickly go over Isan. Quickly, I also want to go over again Fukushima. For those of you who have not listened to the prior shows, Fukushima is the nuclear reactor that literally melted down or is in the process of melting down in Japan. Well, guess what, people? It's worse than we think. As of December 7th, they have found groundwater level near the plant is now building in sync with the ebb and flow of the sea. Basically what that means is this water is now contaminated the Pacific Ocean around Japan. And what happens? It's going to go west. What's west of Japan, people? You're right, the west coast of the North American continent. It's getting bad. And on top of that, December 7th, TEPCO has recorded the highest ever outdoor radiation level. How bad is this radiation level, people? This radiation level, if you or I were to stand outside there for 20 minutes, we would be dead. So, in other words, as long as it takes for me to do this quick little show, you're dead. That's how much radiation is out there. How much are you hearing about this in the mass media? You're not. What are you hearing about? You're hearing about Duck Dynasty. It's all a game. It's all a plan to shift your focus away from really what's going on. That's their whole agenda. Fukushima is a nuclear disaster waiting to happen. On top of that, sailors from the USS Ronald Reagan who responded to the tsunami in Japan on March 2011. Oh boy, these sailors are now getting sick. And I'm not saying sick as in the flu. They are developing frightening symptoms. They're developing sores all over their bodies, chronic bronchitis, hemorrhaging. They are now finding thyroid, testicular cancers, leukemia, and brain tumors. And they're finding out this is from Fukushima. How did they get it? Because the desalination system that pulls in the seawater for bathing, drinking, cooking is contaminated. It's contaminated to the point that they cannot filter it. Oh my Lord, people. We're not being told anything about this. They were told as long as there was no plume, we would be fine. So in other words, as long as the reactor didn't explode, they're fine. What a crock of crap that is. Seriously. As long as it doesn't explode, they're fine. Well, guess what, people? The radiation is dumping into the Pacific Ocean. Dumping. I mean, it's ridiculous how much water is being contaminated. And again, it's all going to the west. We are to the west. They are now in California starting to find cases of thyroid disease, thyroid disorders. Are we hearing that? No. All we're hearing about is Duck Dynasty, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. Anything to distract us from actually what's going on out there. People, if you want to know really what's going on with the world today, get off of the mainstream media. Don't read your papers. Don't listen to your NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. No longer even Fox News. Fox News is being controlled now too. You cannot believe the mass media. You are not going to hear that Fukushima is dangerously close to melting down. And if it does, you're never going to hear that it will kill us. It will kill us slowly. It will send our children into death slowly. Our children's children. It would be a catastrophic, generational catastrophe. That can't be stopped. They can't stop this. They've come out and said, we do not know how to stop this. And again, you don't hear about it. What else do I have to say? I can't say anything else. Find out for yourself what's going on with Fukushima. This, right now with Fukushima, is the biggest threat to the world that the world has ever seen. Forget the Cold War with Russia and the U.S. Forget the Bay of Pigs, the Russian missile silos, or the Russian missiles in Cuba in the 60s. Not even close. We had a chance to stop that, and we did stop that. This, we have no chance. Things are happening, people. I talked to you about the Ring of Fire. 35 active volcanoes right now. Earthquakes left and right. Do you realize it's going to take a minor earthquake to completely obliterate Reactor 4 at Fukushima? And when that goes, Japan goes. So, it's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say anymore. So, all I got to say, as I say, is keep an eye on the news. You're not going to hear it on the mainstream. Keep an eye on the Drudge Report, InfoWars, WND. These are the obscure websites that you're going to need to listen to or read to get the real news. Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. These are shows that you're going to hear the truth. These people are not bought and paid for. They're just out there telling the truth. That's what you need to listen to. God help us with Fukushima. Whew. So on that note, people, we're going to take a quick little break. Again, some guys talking about a book he's writing. I don't know. Sounds pretty interesting. Be right back. Coming soon, the zombie survival novel from the hosts of Mysteries of Michigan, Tom Velasquez. Follow Mike Locke as he traverses through the backwoods, across the rivers, and through the government quarantine zones of mid-Michigan as he searches for his family who are holed up in their home, trying to survive the impending zombie apocalypse. Can Mike Locke get to his family in time? And if he does, how will he get them home safely? Find out shortly on all ebook readers. Alrighty, we are back, everybody. So, if you were a listener to the holy cow, I forgot to the Conspiracies and Untolds show. That was the predecessor of Mysteries of Michigan. We talked about a urban legend. Some people believe it, some people don't. Called the Melonheads. The Melonheads, and no, it's not the delicious candy. This is an urban legend. So what it is it's supposed to be. Well, let's backtrack. What are the Melonheads, and how did the legend start? There's actually a legend in Michigan, Ohio, and Connecticut. They're all a little different, but they're all little the same. So, since this is a Michigan show, we'll revolve around the Michigan aspect of the legend, because as I say, if you know the Michigan, you pretty much know the Ohio and the Connecticut. Just the names, places are pretty much the same or different, but the concept and the story are the same. So, the Melonheads in Michigan, they are said to reside around the Felt Mansion in Michigan, and they're also reportedly seen in the forested areas of southern Ottawa County. Now, one story, there's a couple stories that go on with this, but as I say, they're all the same. One of the stories, they were originally children with hydrocephalus, and what hydrocephalus is excess liquid on the brain which causes their head to swell. Well, these children were supposedly living at Junction Insane Asylum near the Felt Mansion. The problem is that there's no record of an insane asylum near the Felt Mansion. There was a prison there in Allegan County, but there was no asylum. So take that as you want. Now, another legend, well, actually it's not part of or it is a legend. There was a doctor, and that doctor lived in the mansion with these children. This doctor was abusive and downright horrible to these children, so these children killed him. Well, they didn't have anywhere to hide the body, so they cut it up in small pieces and hid it around the mansion. So the rumors exist that there's teenagers that go into this mansion, and as far as I know, last I heard it was being restored, but before it was being restored, it was basically condemned. It wasn't a smart idea to go in it. But the rumors were that some teenagers who broke into the house saw the ghosts of the children. They could see shadows of the killing of the doctor through the light coming from an open door, and they could see these kids all over the place. I don't know. Again, we'll go on. Okay. These children are living in the woods. Their medical condition causes them to have huge swollen heads. Now, people for decades have told this tale, and it was predominantly in the 60s and 70s, although people still say they see them. According to the legend, these kids, melon heads as you call them, are living out of the woods. And as you are out in the woods, they will come upon you, they will kill you, and they will eat you. Fun. How true is it? Well, got a couple reader or listener submissions here. A couple that I found on the internet. I'm going to go read a couple. So if it sounds like I'm reading them, that's why. So the first one. I have lived in Lake Town Township for 12 years now and agree with everything that is said in the book, Ghosts and Legends of Michigan's West Coast. According to this person, he has friends that have seen the melon heads in the woods a few times. Does he believe them? Yes and no. Okay, if you've seen them, why do you not believe in them? Or if you know people that seen them. According to the reader, if you flash your headlights, you're more prone to seeing something. I would attribute that to eyes playing tricks on you. And then he's heard of the ghost stories at the Felt Mansion, people seeing the kids play at the top of the stairs and then jump off the balcony. Again, I don't know. Next one. Last year not submitted, me and some friends of mine at Hope College decided we want to go to the Allegan County Woods in Hamilton in search of the melonheads. On our first night there, we went back on a path about a mile and came to an opening where there seemed to be a foundation of a building still there, but the building was gone. On the walk back to the opening, there was a sign hanging over the path, but it was too faded to make out the wording. On the first night, this person did not experience anything too out of the ordinary that would make them think that it couldn't be animals or anything like that. When they went out the next night, it was raining mixed with some lightning. This reader and two other guys were leading the group down a path about a half mile into our walk. There was a lightning flash, and apparently all three of them saw the exact same figure of a human about 4.5 feet tall with an abnormally large head standing in the middle of a clearing that they have gone over the night before. They kind of slowed down a minute, and the next thing they knew, they heard a huge crash in the woods to the left of them. They immediately turned and ran back to their cars. Nice job. Way to get to the bottom of that story. Oh, this one here. This legend has made it into the neck of my woods too, although a little different. In southwest Michigan, the melonheads are said to be located behind the Cook nuclear plant in Bridgman. It has two different stories of how they got there. The first is that there was a sane asylum in the woods. Ironic. Before the power plant was ever built, and there was a fire that burned the asylum down to the ground, and the melonheads escaped and have been living in the wood or in the wilds ever since. Okay. The other story says there were a group of people that lived behind the plant in the woods. After exposure to the radiation, they began to have water swelling of the brain, and out of embarrassment and shame, they stayed in the woods to be left alone by the public to live their lives. The nuclear plant and all surrounding property had been closed off to the public since the 9/11 attacks, but you used to be able to drive back into the woods and explore. It was a big pastime for the teenagers to scare the bejesus out of themselves and their dates. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if this is true, then this is what we have to look forward to when Fukushima goes kaboom. I have personally not investigated the melonheads. However, I do know an urban legend when I see one, and this is by all accounts an urban legend. It's meant to scare the living bejesus out of you. It was meant to scare good kids into going, or bad kids into going good. You know, if you don't do this, the melonheads will get you. That's all it is. You can chalk this one up to an urban legend. That's all it is. That's all it ever will be. So, the melonheads are not real. It's an urban legend. I'm sure if you go into other states, you're going to hear the same type of story. Crazy family, deformed, living out in the woods, killing people. There has never been one. What's the word I'm looking for? There's never been one noted attack by anyone by Melonhead. And the reason for that is that they don't exist. So, we can chalk that one up to an urban legend, a Michigan urban legend. Although, hey, I'm game. I'll go out and investigate for them. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. So, if any of you have had Melonhead stories or seen a Melonhead, by all means, please contact me. I would be more than happy to share your story on Mysteries of Michigan. So, next, before we leave for the night, I just wanted to go and give our sponsor a nice little promo. So here is a little ad from Prism. Thanks, Prism.
The Paranormal Research and Investigative Society of Michigan is a family-operated paranormal research group based out of mid-Michigan. Formed in 2010, Prism has conducted numerous investigations that have yielded some very interesting results. With a team of true believers and skeptics alike, Prism assures you of the most comprehensive and accurate investigation possible. If you feel you are having paranormal activity or any activity you cannot explain, please contact Prism at 989-413-0430, or you can find them on Facebook at PRISOM. As with any Prism investigation, yours will be done free of charge, and all steps will be taken to ensure your privacy. Again, if you have any paranormal activity or activity you cannot explain, please contact Prism at 989-413-0430 or find them on Facebook. Prism, the Paranormal Research and Investigative Society of Michigan, serving mid-Michigan and beyond.
Alrighty. Well, that's going to be the end of our show today. Just a quick little thing. With it being Christmas coming up, I believe and I hope Santa will be dropping me off an updated audio system. I know you get a little bit of a buzz from this microphone I'm using. I told Santa what I wanted, and I think Santa was kind enough to provide that for me. Going to get a much upgraded audio system, so you might notice the vast difference in the quality of the voice on this show. So keep listening. Next show, I will have my son here. His name is Michael, and he's going to go over some of the some paranormal stuff that he's witnessed at his location where he lives, and we might go over some of the stuff we've seen in Prism. So, with that being said, again, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, and drive safe out there. Today is December 21st, I believe. And at this present time, I'm looking out my window watching the ice just build up outside. We're having a major ice storm. So wherever you are, whatever the weather, be safe. And Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.